If you have ever delayed action until the opportunity was gone, if you have ever lowered your aim to avoid failure, if you have ever drowned in excuses while watching your enemies advance, you are under attack, not from the outside, but from within. And in this war, hesitation means death. I will show you how to cut this weakness from your soul like a tumor and replace it with a mind that serves only your rise. Most people fail because they give themselves a secret escape. They dream in silence, they plan in shadows, they tell no one, so that when they abandon their goal, they can disappear quietly, no shame, no accountability. This is how mediocrity survives by hiding. But if you wish to destroy self-sabotage, you must strip yourself of this hiding place. You must walk into the center of the public square, stand tall, and declare your intentions so loudly that there is no turning back without the world knowing you failed. You will feel fear the moment you do it. Good, that fear is the fire we are after. When you declare your goal openly to your peers, your rivals, your allies, even to strangers, you place your reputation on the line. Now, your pride becomes the collateral for your ambition. And pride is a currency more valuable than gold, because once it is damaged, it cannot be easily restored. Think of a general before battle. If he allows his soldiers to think retreat is possible, hesitation creeps into the ranks. But if he burns the bridges, destroys the ships, and leaves no way back, then every soldier knows that victory is the only path to survival. You must do the same to yourself. You must cut off every road that leads to escape. Here is the truth most will never tell you. You are not lacking motivation. You are drowning in options. As long as the mind knows there is a safe way to quit, it will whisper excuses into your ear. It will tell you, wait until the timing is better, you can always start later. No one needs to know if you give up. But when the world is watching, those whispers turn into screams of panic. Because now, quitting comes with public humiliation. Now, failure is not just personal, it is witnessed. And for those with even a shred of self-respect, the thought of being seen as weak is unbearable. This is why rulers of the past used public oaths, ceremonies, and announcements. They knew that when a man's word is bound to his honor, he will either rise to meet it or be broken entirely. There is no middle ground. I tell you, make your ambitions a matter of record. Write them where others will see them. Say them to those who will remember. Tell them to people who will ask about your progress, not out of kindness, but because they want to know if you actually have the strength to follow through. Do not think this is about seeking approval. It is not. This is about creating a battlefield where your only choices are victory or disgrace. And if you are thinking, but what if I fail? You have already lost. That thought is the very self-sabotage you must kill. When you give your mind a chance to consider failure as an option, it will feed it until it grows stronger than your desire to win. Machiavelli himself understood this principle. He wrote that a prince must commit to his plans so completely that retreat would mean ruin. Because when survival depends on success, men find courage they never knew they possessed. Imagine you announce to the world that in 6 months you will launch your business, publish your book, master a skill, or reach a physical goal. Imagine every friend, every colleague, every relative hearing you say it. Now, you wake up each day knowing that their eyes are on you, some curious, some supportive, and some silently praying you fail so they can feel better about their own inaction. That knowledge, that silent pressure will crush laziness like a hammer. Every time you think of skipping a step, Every time you want to delay, you will remember the crowd. You will remember your words. And if you have any sense of pride, you will keep moving forward, no matter how slow, because the alternative is to stand in front of them, empty-handed, and admit you are nothing but a mouth full of empty promises. If you want, I can now expand Keynote 2 in the same intense audience, slocking Machiavellian style, so your video maintains that unbroken psychological grip. Your mind is a kingdom, and like any kingdom, it needs a ruler and an executioner. If you allow it to run itself, it will fall to chaos. It will indulge in distractions. It will negotiate with laziness. It will make excuses and call them reasons. You cannot afford this. You must rule it with a cold hand, reward it when it obeys, punish it when it disobeys. Most people think discipline is a feeling that they must feel inspired before they act. This is the first lie of self-sabotage. Discipline is not born from feelings. Discipline is born from systems, rules, and consequences. When you are the ruler of your mind, you do not wait for it to want to obey. You train it to obey whether it wants to or not. You must think like a master training a dangerous animal. That animal does not respond to polite requests. It responds to incentives and consequences. When you act with discipline, when you complete the work, when you show up on time, when you keep moving forward even when you would rather stop, reward yourself, not with comfort that slows you down, but with small acknowledgments that tell your mind, this behavior is rewarded, repeat it. And when you delay, when you waste time, when you betray your own goal, punish yourself immediately, not later, not tomorrow, now. The punishment must be felt so that your mind begins to associate inaction with pain. If there is no pain, your mind will do it again. Kings of the past understood this better than anyone. A soldier who abandoned his post was not given a warning. He was whipped, branded, or executed. Harsh, yes. But it was this severity that kept armies sharp. You must be just as severe with your own inaction, because every time you let yourself get away with delay, you are training your brain to see weakness as acceptable, and once it believes that, the war is already lost. The problem with most people is that they tolerate delay. They tell themselves, I'll do it tomorrow. They allow their mind to negotiate like a treacherous diplomat, trading today's progress for tomorrow's promise, and tomorrow becomes next week becomes never. This is the slow death of ambition. To destroy this pattern, you must make delay costly. Miss a workout, you pay yourself a fine from your own wallet. Fail to write your pages, you remove an hour of sleep. Skip a business task, you forfeit something you enjoy. Your mind must learn that every act of self-betrayal has an immediate price. The opposite is also true. Reward discipline in a way that strengthens you. Complete a week of consistent work. Grant yourself something that adds power, a book, a tool, an experience that fuels your growth. Rewards must serve the kingdom, not weaken it. Do not celebrate discipline by drowning it in indulgence. Celebrate by sharpening the blade. This is not cruelty, this is governance. The weak hope their willpower will show up when needed. The powerful build a system where willpower is irrelevant because obedience is automatic. This is why armies train relentlessly before battle, so that in the chaos of war, the soldier does not think, he acts. You must make your own discipline so natural that even in your worst moments, you still move forward without hesitation. Understand this, your mind is always watching you. When you say you will do something and then fail to act, you are teaching it that your own word means nothing. Every time you delay, you confirm that you cannot be trusted. And once your mind loses trust in you, it will stop fighting for you. It will stop trying. This is how self-sabotage becomes permanent, through the slow erosion of self-respect. The way to reverse this is simple, but not easy. You must show your mind that discipline is the fastest route to reward, and delay is the fastest route to pain. The moment this truth is etched into your behavior, you will notice something. You will act before your feelings have a chance to argue. You will move before your excuses arrive. You will have trained yourself like the most loyal soldier in your army, ready to obey without question. There is a type of strength that no gentle encouragement can give you. It is not born from kindness, nor from comfort. It is forged in the heat of rivalry, sharpened on the blade of hatred. You have been taught to avoid such feelings, to keep your heart pure, to rise above. But I will tell you a truth the weak cannot stomach. Some of your greatest power will come from those who wish to see you fall. When you think of quitting, think of the one who would smile at your failure. Picture them clearly, their expression, their laugh, their satisfaction. See them celebrating your defeat as if it was their own victory. This image must burn into your mind until the very thought of it makes you rise from your seat and act. You see, friendly encouragement is pleasant, but it is soft. It fades when you are tired. It vanishes when the work becomes hard. But the fire that comes from proving an enemy wrong burns hotter and longer. It does not care how you feel. It only cares that you win. That fire is pure fuel. It will carry you further than any positive affirmation ever could. You must learn to transform your enemies into a source of relentless energy. Every insult, every doubt, every time they underestimate, you store it like a weapon in your arsenal. Keep it close. When your mind tries to seduce you with comfort, draw this weapon and strike back with action. Let their voices drive you forward instead of holding you back. Machiavelli understood that enemies are not only to be fought, they are to be used. A rival's existence can keep a leader sharp long after peace has made him complacent. The same is true for you. Without opposition, you risk becoming dull. Without someone to defy, you risk losing the edge that victory demands. That is why those who have no enemies often create them, even in secret, to keep the flame alive. Understand this. Your enemies are not just people. They are also forces, doubt, laziness, fear, and mediocrity. These are your silent assassins, always waiting for you to lower your guard. But when you think of them as enemies, not weaknesses, you begin to fight them with the same aggression you would use against a traitor in your court. There will be days when you feel nothing, days when your ambition feels cold. On those days, you must deliberately provoke the memory of those who would prefer your failure. Find the faces of those who dismissed you, who mocked you, who said you couldn't do it. Remember the tone in their voice, the smirk they wore, the way they didn't take you seriously. Let it make you restless. Let it make you angry. Then turn that anger into movement. And understand, this is not about living in bitterness. This is about weaponizing reality. Your enemies are real, whether you acknowledge them or not. Ignoring them does not make them disappear. It only makes them harder to see. But when you see them clearly, when you name them in your mind, you can use them as fuel to move faster, strike harder, and last longer than you ever thought possible. Every time you push forward, when you feel like stopping, imagine their disappointment. Imagine their frustration as they realize you will not break. Picture them forced to watch you rise while they remain in the same place, powerless to stop you. This image is worth more than gold, because it creates something you cannot buy, the refusal to lose. And when the moment comes when you finally achieve the thing they swore you could not, you will not need to say a word. Your victory will speak for you. It will burn them silently, more deeply than any insult could. But to reach that moment, you must carry their shadow with you, not as a burden, but as the wind at your back, pushing you toward the very success they never wanted you to have. If you want, I can. Move directly into Keynote 4, kill perfection before it kills you with the same ruthless momentum, so the video script flows like one unbroken Machiavellian masterclass. Perfection is the most seductive form of self-sabotage. It disguises itself as a noble pursuit, whispering that you are simply aiming for excellence, that you are only waiting for the right moment, the flawless plan, the ideal conditions. But this is a lie wrapped in gold. It is hesitation wearing the mask of wisdom. Understand this: perfection is not the friend of greatness, it is its executioner. More dreams have been buried by perfection than by failure, because perfection demands that you wait. Wait until you know more. Wait until you have more. Wait until you feel ready. And while you wait, the opportunity rots, your energy fades, and the chance to strike is lost forever. Machiavelli knew that the world belongs not to the cautious thinker who hesitates, but to the one who moves before the dust has even settled. The perfect strike is often less valuable than the timely strike. A sword that is sharpened forever is a sword that never tastes battle. The man who refuses to act until he is certain will watch certainty pass him by. You must understand that the pursuit of perfection is often a disguise for fear. It is safer to say, "I am preparing," than to admit, "I am afraid to fail." Perfection lets you hide in respectability while you avoid the risk of action. It gives you the illusion of progress while you remain in the same place. And worst of all, it convinces you that you are noble for doing nothing. You must kill this instinct before it kills you. Start before you feel ready. Act while you are still learning. Begin with what you have, not what you wish you had. This is how every true conqueror advances, not with flawless plans, but with relentless momentum. Imagine two generals. One spends years perfecting his strategy, waiting for the weather to turn, the enemy to make a mistake, the supplies to arrive exactly as planned. The other moves with speed, using what he has, adapting on the battlefield, striking before the enemy expects it. History remembers the second because history is written by those who act. When you wait for perfection, you are quietly agreeing to be left behind. The world does not pause while you prepare. Your rivals are not standing still while you polish your masterpiece. Every day you delay, someone else is moving. And when you finally emerge with your flawless creation, you will find the world has moved on without you. The truth is this: flaws are inevitable. You will never be fully ready. Your first attempt will always be imperfect. And that is exactly why you must act now. Because the sooner you begin, the sooner you can refine through action instead of endlessly polishing in theory. Action reveals what planning never will. Mistakes made in motion are more valuable than perfect plans made in stillness. The powerful do not fear imperfection, they use it. They understand that every great empire was built in stages, each one rougher and less refined than the last. The beauty came later, the strength came later, the perfection came later, but only because they dared to build while the ground was still uneven. Perfectionists believe they are protecting their vision from the ugliness of mistakes. In reality, they are starving it to death. A vision locked in your mind will remain perfect forever and useless forever. The first version, the rough version, the one you are embarrassed to show, is the one that opens the gate to the next stage. Without it, nothing begins. You must be ruthless with yourself here. The moment you catch yourself saying, "It's not ready," ask instead, "Am I hiding from the fight?" If the answer is yes, you strike immediately, You launch, you release. You take the first step without asking permission from your fear. That step will break the spell of perfection faster than any amount of reasoning. The most dangerous betrayal you will ever experience is not from an enemy, not from a false friend, but from yourself. Every time you speak against yourself, every time you declare your own weakness, every time you doubt your own worth, you conspire with the enemy within. And when the enemy within is strong, the enemies outside barely need to lift a finger. Self-sabotage thrives on self-disloyalty. It waits for you to become your own accuser, your own executioner, your own saboteur. You begin to believe the worst things said about you. You repeat them in your mind until they sound like truth. You carry these words as if they are law, when in reality, they are chains. Chains you have placed on yourself. You must break this alliance with self-doubt and replace it with ruthless loyalty to yourself. This is not arrogance. This is survival. A ruler who speaks of his own weakness invites rebellion. A general who admits defeat before the battle begins has already lost. In the same way, when you speak against yourself, you are telling your mind, I cannot be trusted to win. Your mind listens to everything you say. It takes every word as an order. If you speak weakness, it will execute weakness. If you speak strength, it will execute strength. This is why you must speak to yourself as a commander speaks to his army, with clarity, with certainty, with an expectation of victory. Machiavelli knew that loyalty is the foundation of power, but the first loyalty must be to yourself. You cannot expect others to follow you if you do not follow yourself. You cannot expect others to believe in you if you are the first to doubt. The world is already full of critics and skeptics. Do not add your own voice to their number. There will be moments when you fail, moments when you fall short, moments when your actions embarrass you. In those moments, the instinct will be to attack yourself, to drown in self-punishment. But the Machiavellian mind knows that self-punishment without correction is useless. Instead, correct your course with precision, then return immediately to loyalty. Speak not of your failure as identity, speak of it as an event. Events pass, identity remains. Ruthless self-loyalty means you are on your own side in every battle. It means when others doubt you, you do not join them. When others mock you, you do not echo their laughter. When others try to weaken your resolve, you do not assist them. Your internal voice becomes your fortress. No matter how fierce the storm outside, the fortress does not fall from within. You must learn to treat your thoughts as a battlefield. Every doubt is an invader. Every self-insult is a traitor. When one appears, you execute it on sight. Replace it with an order, a direct, unquestionable command toward action. The brain obeys repeated orders. Feed it orders of strength until the language of weakness is foreign to it. There will be people who will say this is delusion, that you must be realistic. What they mean is they want you to join them in their mediocrity. They have made peace with doubting themselves, so they cannot understand someone who refuses to kneel before their own flaws. Let them talk. You have no obligation to weaken yourself so others can feel comfortable in their failure. Ruthless self-loyalty does not mean lying to yourself. It means telling the truth in a way that makes you stronger, not weaker. If you have fallen short, admit it, then declare how you will rise. If you have made a mistake, acknowledge it, then decide how you will correct it. You speak to yourself as you would to a trusted warrior, not with pity, but with expectation. Expectation that you will adapt. Expectation that you will win. This loyalty will become a weapon. When the moment of decision comes, when the temptation to quit whispers in your ear, you will not even entertain it. Your loyalty to yourself will override the doubt, the fear, the hesitation. You will act because you have made an unbreakable pact, that you will not turn on yourself, that you will not undermine your own rise, that you will not become the enemy within. If you want, I can now compile all 5 expanded keynotes plus intro and hook into one seamless Machiavellian master script so your video flows as a single, relentless narration that will make it feel like one continuous psychological assault instead of separate pieces. Self-sabotage is not a harmless habit. It is a silent assassin that strikes long before your enemies ever do. Every hesitation, every excuse, every moment you conspire against yourself is a surrender of your own throne. You now have the weapons to destroy it, the public declaration that leaves you no way back, the iron rule of rewarding discipline and punishing delay, the unrelenting fire drawn from your enemies, the execution of perfection before it executes you, and the unbreakable loyalty to yourself that makes betrayal impossible. These are not gentle cures. They are ruthless acts of self-governance, acts that will harden you, sharpen you, and prepare you to face the world without fear of collapse from within. The enemy inside your mind will not vanish overnight, but from this moment on, it will find no safe place to hide. Every day you will strike it, weaken it, corner it, until the only voice left in your head is the one that commands you to rise.